Today we're gonna have a look at this Bosch GET 75150 turbo sander and why I believe this is one, if not the best sander for epoxy.
Welcome, this is Tom from Woodworking, and my number one tip is if you have this sander or buy or purchase this sander and sand epoxy with it, don't lick it. This was just a dumb idea. It tasted horrible. Anyway guys, so we are reviewing today the GET 75150 random orbital sander with its turbo mode from Bosch. But we do it a little differently today. I can, again, tell you all the facts, details, specs and everything that the sander offers. But you can find that out yourself. You just go and read about it. And I'll leave a link in the description below with all of those details. Today we're gonna look at the experience I'm having with this sander. But first we're unpacking this sander. It comes in a blue, very sturdy sustainer, which is extremely handy for packing away your sander. And it also comes with a handle that I'm screwing on here, the guards and a medium thick pad, which I'm pretending to screw on here because I obviously used it beforehand. So to the ergonomics, the very boring topic, but I think it's essential and important, especially because we're using that for an extended amount of time constantly. So it's very nicely built, very sturdy, the grip is easy to use and it feels nice in the hand and every button is really easy to reach. The sander is very well balanced but not perfect. So you can see here with the weight of the cable in the back, it is a little bit tipping to the back, but it stands by itself, which is really not a big issue because you're holding it anyway. Okay, so I'm testing it here on one of the tables I built. I turn off on the sander and we first try the normal orbital function. The vibration is minimal on this one, I have to say that. There's always some vibration obviously because it's a sander, but it's not bad at all. Now we're going to the turbo mode and that's a little bit differently. You can see that almost jumped out of my hand. You really have to hold on the turbo mode because this sander becomes a beast. It takes off a ton of material at once, so really be careful there. I'm usually using that to take out all the grooves that my router left from the flattening process or any kind of extra epoxy that I had to pour. Let's look a little bit closer and compare those two modes, the turbo and the normal orbital mode. First, the turbo mode. You can see here how much material it takes off. The dust extraction here, guys, you have to be careful, is really struggling because it takes off so much material and my little Ryobi shop vac actually couldn't vacuum it up anymore. You can see here there's a lot of dust that is left on the epoxy. It doesn't really matter for us though because this turbo mode is basically replacing a belt sander, which again is for flattening and taking off material very quickly. You can see how much actually is still on the sanding disc and I'm taking that off with a sanding eraser. Okay, let's clean that up and see the sanding pattern, and it looks really rough, and I apologize for my really poor camera skills here, but this is not a finished product. This is taking off as much material as possible, ripping it out, sanding it out as quickly as possible. On the other hand, the random orbital mode is amazingly smooth. You can see the difference immediately in the pattern. The dust collection works much better as well. It leaves a little bit of dust behind, but that's totally normal. That's with any kind of random orbital sander. There will be always a little bit of epoxy left. You have to wipe that off with a microfiber towel in between grids. That's totally normal and it's part of the process. But you can see the finish here is so much better. So now look at something interesting. Here the epoxy is still on there, so you can see actually how the two orbital modes work. So sorry about the blurriness, but the camera couldn't catch that because it was too fast. First thing here is the random orbital one, that all we know with the squirrel marks and so on. Once we turn on the turbo, boom! Wow! It turned completely upside down, so it's a real beast. I put in here another project that I did recently for an influencer friend of mine, Jolly's Life, check her out on Instagram. But I wanted to demonstrate here how versatile actually this sander is. So we did a table with a matte finish, and the finish looked fantastic. And here we are gonna do a glossy glass clear finish, and we're sanding up to 8,000 grits. Obviously with 8,000 grits you have to be really careful that there's no epoxy left over, there's no swirl marks, so that it really generates a glass finish. So I'm gonna link those two videos in the end, the full build video of the table and the full build video of this charcuterie board. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and listen to this idiot for one more time.
If you're in the market for a new sander, pick up this GET 75150. I'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks guys, and as always, I appreciate you, and I see you next time.